Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to build something with an invisible force. Seriously, we're going to learn how to create it, how to control it, and how to scale it up so powerfully it could lift a car. This is your ultimate guide to electromagnets.
You know those magnets you have on your fridge? Think about them for a second. They're just always on. They stick there, day in and day out. But what if you could just flip a switch and turn that magnetic force on, and then off again, whenever you wanted?
And that right there is the huge difference we're diving into. You've got your permanent magnets, which are always active, always working, but then you have these amazing things called electromagnets, and they give us a magnetic force that we can actually control. So how in the world do we create this controllable force? Well, that's exactly what we're about to find out. Okay, so what is an electromagnet? At its heart, it's a temporary magnet, and it's made from a really simple recipe. You need an electric current, a coil of wire, and some kind of metal core, usually iron. As soon as the electricity starts flowing, boom, the magnet turns on. Stop the current, and it just turns right off. It's as simple as that. So, how do we actually build one of these things? You're probably going to be surprised by how ridiculously simple it is. Let's take a look at the blueprint. All you need are a few things you might just have lying around the house. You need an iron nail, that's going to be our magnetic core. You need some insulated copper wire to make the coil, and you need a battery to be our power source. That's literally it. And putting it together is just as easy. First, you take that wire and wrap it tightly around the nail, coil after coil. Then, you connect the two ends of the wire to your battery. And just like that, you've created an invisible force field. Go ahead, test it. See how many paper clips it can actually lift. Now, a quick but really important safety note. That electric current running through the wire can make it get pretty hot. So just make sure you follow any instructions carefully and always disconnect the battery when you're not actively testing your magnet. Okay, building the thing is just step one. Now we get to the really fun part. How do we make it even more powerful? So we've got our basic little magnet, and it's picking up a few paper clips. That's cool. But how do we level this thing up? How do we take this simple device and really crank up the power? Well, it turns out we have two main levers of power that we can pull. First, we can change the number of times we wrap the wire around the nail. And second, we can change the voltage of our battery, our power source. To really get how these levers work, we need to put on our scientist hats for a minute. We're going to test our variables to see exactly how they change the outcome. Now, in any good experiment, the one thing you decide to change on purpose is called the independent variable. For us, that's going to be either how many coils of wire we use or the voltage of the battery we hook it up to. And of course, the thing you measure to see the result of that change, that's your dependent variable. In our little investigation, it's pretty simple. It's the strength of our magnet, which we'll measure by counting how many paper clips it can pick up. Okay, so let's look at the results. For our baseline test, that's 50 coils and a standard 1.5-volt battery, we can lift 5 paper clips. Not bad. But check this out. When we double the coils to 100, wow, we jump all the way up to 12 paper clips. So what happens if we go back to 50 coils, but double the voltage to 3 volts? We get 10 paper clips. The pattern here is pretty clear. So the huge takeaway is this. Both adding more wire coils and increasing the voltage will create a much stronger magnetic field. Both levers give you a more powerful electromagnet. Now, this little science experiment isn't just for picking up paper clips. Believe it or not, the exact same principles are used to build some of the most powerful and incredible machines on the entire planet. I mean, think about it. Junkyard cranes that can lift a whole car and then just drop it with the flick of a switch? That's an electromagnet. MRI machines that let us see inside the human body? Electromagnets. Almost every electric motor in existence, and even those super fast maglev trains that float on the tracks? Yep. All powered by this amazing, controllable force. And the most incredible part is that the power to lift a car starts with the exact same science we just explored with a nail and a battery. It's all about a current, a coil, and a core. The only difference is the scale. So I'll leave you with this. Now you know the secret. You know how to build and control this incredible force. So, what everyday problem could you solve with your own controllable magnet?